without further ado, I'm actually going to go into the session today, and just wanted you all get to know that I'm sure I think Joelle has said that you all should have your notebooks with you all, because today we are going traditional style. All right, I'm not using a PowerPoint. All right, it will be what I call flashcards. So you'll see lots of flashcards ready for all of you. You will need your pens and papers. So once you get it, and you have your notebook or pen or paper or whatever in front of you, I want you to type on the chat screen that you are ready to go. So just type ready, and once I get 5 readies, I will start. I see Joelle there. 1 ready. 5 readies, and I will start. Alexis is ready. Hueli is ready. Adrian is ready. 2 more. Let's go. Power Tower, you're ready. All right. And Navina, you are ready. What's that sound? And Godfrey needs 1 minute, so I don't know how we're going to accommodate Godfrey. Okay. All right. So everyone, let's start. So today, welcome to the topic of courageous conversation. It's a big word to use, and what we're going to do today is that we're actually going to cover just 2 things: why and what. Why courageous conversations? Why do we need to have it? And what is the approach that we should have while we go into a courageous conversation? All right, and Joelle, like you said, what is courageous conversations? I'm actually going to give everyone a definition first, yeah? All right. Yeah, here you go. Okay. So, big word. What's the definition for courageous conversations? All right, it's any topic that we find hard to talk about with another person. Yeah. If you need to write down, you write it down first. All right. Any topic that we find hard to talk about with another person. What other terminologies do we have that actually is the same meaning as courageous conversations, aka also known as what conversations? Can someone tell me? Chat, what other types of words do you see? It's upside down? Sorry, what's that? Tower. Is it just me, or the words are terbalik? Do you mean my flashcards, or? Oh, my video is flipped? Oh my gosh. No, I'm sorry. Are you saying that my words are, can't you all read this? It looks good to me. Oh, hold on. Joelle, is it a mirror image? I see. Oh my gosh. Hold on. Let me just check, yeah? So is everyone really seeing it the other way around? Okay. Oh no. Okay, guys. I'm really sorry. I guess this blur auntie here probably did it in thinking that it will be okay for everyone. Do y'all think y'all can bear with me and somehow be super using your brain powers today to read it upside down? Should I try the back camera or something? Oh gosh. Is it okay, guys, so that we can actually finish the 45 minutes, and then I will learn to be tech savvy next time round? Is that okay? It's fine? Okay, it's fine. Thank you guys for being so understanding, really appreciate it. And thank you for a few of you who actually spoke up and took the courage to tell me that, I've got it upside down and being understanding. Yeah, but let me ask you a question. Yeah. Okay. So from the first flashcard already, right? You all could see that my words were reversed, right? Gotcha. Right? So it's interesting, isn't it? It's interesting, guys. It took me about 4 or 5 flashcards, correct, before someone actually spoke up. Before someone actually told me, hey, Miss Hui Wei, you know, your words are all upside down or what called in reverse, right? Yes, I was just kidding. Don't worry, I wouldn't put you guys through a horrible session where you have to read everything in reverse. But come, share with me, guys. You know, all of us saw the same thing, right? Except me, which because everything actually is upside down for me now. But it took about four flashcards before someone spoke up. Yeah. Okay. So can you share with me, you know, what were some of your thoughts when you hesitated to actually point out to me that something was not going right? What were some of your thoughts? Type it on the chat screen. What were some of your thoughts, you know, when you hesitated to tell me? Waiting for some answers.
Maybe having a fear of being offended.
Thank you. You fear that I might get offended if you pointed it out in public some more, right? Good. Someone thought yes. Kiatson, you thought somebody else might say it. That's good. That's right. Correct. So a lot of people was waiting for someone else to say it, isn't it? So why? Yes, you didn't want to embarrass me. Thank you. I'm quite thick-skinned, so it's all right. No problem. Okay, wonderful. All right, and you know what? Sometimes when the topic or a matter is hard to bring up, right? We hesitate, correct? And some of the reasons that we hesitate, or you know, especially when it comes to difficult topics or hard conversations, is because we are afraid that we might embarrass people, correct? And some of you said it. Oh, there's wrong spelling too. Thank you. I think there's a double S somewhere, right? Good one. Second test, the first one there, right? Good job. Now you're getting more courageous and you're pointing it out immediately. Orisian, very good. Okay, we're afraid we might offend people, correct? Very real risk. Sometimes we say we're unsure. Was it me who just read it all the way to Bali, or was it someone, or is everyone saying the same thing? So we want to get our facts right. Yeah. And sometimes it's just not my problem. Let somebody else say it, correct? And maybe in some situations when it comes to tough conversations, we may be afraid to maybe lose a friend, or lose popularity or lose faith in case we say something wrong. Yeah. So all of these are real fears or real concerns. And what I would say is that all of these are actually risks that we take when we actually take a step to say we are going to have a courageous conversation. So because it is risky, we need to have what? We need to have courage. And that's the basis of courageous conversations. If you are all still with me, can you type in the chat screen the word risk, R-I-S-K, spelled in the correct direction. Risk, very nice. Thank you, Godfrey. Thank you, Ketson. Thank you, Navina. Nice. All right. Ah. Orisian, thank you for the challenge of reading it all the way backwards. Yeah. So the real definition of courageous conversations, and I'm going to try and read it upside down from my screen, right? So it's any topic that we find hard to talk about with another person because of strong emotions and high stakes involved. Okay, one more time. Courageous conversations is any topic that we find hard to talk about with another person because of strong emotions and because the stakes are high. You got it? Either write it down in your notebook or take a screenshot, okay? So let's talk about it, right? What are some examples of courageous conversations or difficult conversations that you all encounter? Share with me in the chat screen some of the difficult conversations that you all are facing, or you have faced before, or that you've thought about. Power Tower says when talking to a stranger. Okay. What else? What other difficult conversations? That's like difficult to start a conversation, right, Power Tower? What other topics of conversation is difficult to broach? Nice. When you need to tell someone about my problem or my opinion, okay, and it takes courage to share, correct? Thank you, Huili. Anything else? Anyone else to share? When there's an immediate answer, when they want an immediate answer and you're put on a spot. Good. Thank you, Alexis. And you need time to think, right? All right. Obviously, when you talk to that one friend you were close to but never talk anymore, and it's so awkward. Okay. Something to do with friendship there. All right. Your crush. That's right, Power Tower. I'm not going to touch on boyfriend, girlfriend thingy today, but yes, it's hard to confess or it's hard to have a conversation on your crush. All right. So these are a few examples then, and there are also examples, right? When maybe we're talking about, and you have to address a rumor that's going on that's untrue, or you have to address a conflict, or when you want to tell that, you're trying to tell your parents that you're facing something difficult, or even tell your teachers or friends. All these are difficult and tough conversations, right? It could even be topics on addiction. I'm not sure if this is something that's faced by you today, but addiction to, it could be to certain things. It could also be topics about bad habits that your friends have or someone that has, things like even hygiene issues. Yeah, all this could be protected. All this could be examples of difficult and conversations that need courage for you to approach. Yeah, all right. So the question is, again, another why, right? If it's difficult and it's risky, then why should we even bother to have courageous conversations? Yeah? Why should we do that? Let me just share with you maybe 3 thoughts, as to why we should actually have courageous conversations, even though the stakes are high, even though it's risky, there are concerns. And I'm going to share 3 things with you. They all start with C so that it's easy for you all to remember. Yeah? So the first reason, even though things are risky, why should we share it is so that we can correct a mistake. If we see something wrong, it's good for us to voice out so that we correct a mistake. For example, earlier on, when things were in reverse, if no one told me, then everybody will be suffering now, having to go through a whole stack of flashcards in reverse, right? So if it's a mistake to be corrected, it's good to actually have that conversation. The second item is actually to clarify misunderstandings. Okay, if there's a misunderstanding brewing and we don't have that courageous conversation to clarify, things could just continue to escalate and it can get worse by the day. Okay, and the third reason, that I can share with you all is actually sometimes when there's an issue and you have to confront the issue so that you can resolve it, because we know that when there's an issue and people do not confront it, it just continues to be there and it doesn't go away. Correct? So 3 very simple reasons, on why we should actually have those courageous conversations. And if you look at it, I'm just trying to see, can you see kind of why these 3 statements and what these 3 statements actually can stand for, to give you a compelling reason to actually have the courageous conversation. It's a very simple word to sum up these 3 things. Why one person would correct someone, why would we want to clarify, and why we want to actually confront an issue. All right, and I'm going to let you guys guess the word very simply. I'll sum up the 3 things in one word. 4 letters. Starts with C also. What do you think is the compelling reason for us into going into a courageous conversation? Very nice. Andrian Orician. The word is C-A, not K, sorry. I wish you could give me cake, but no. You're good. So the word is care. Okay. And the reason we would go into that is because You care. The basis of all courageous conversations is actually care. So only if you care enough, if you don't, then you wouldn't go into a courageous conversation, right? If you care enough about someone, if we care enough about something, or we care about a cause, then we will actually have that courageous conversation. All right. So the first word that we're going to learn is the word care. And so the tip, today's first tip of the day, for us to go into a courageous conversation, it will be only because we care. If you're still with me on this whole session, I want you to go to the chat screen and type the word care. Tip number 1 for today, care. C-A-R-E. Nice. Thank you, everyone. Power Tower, you are still challenging me to read backwards. All right, care.
Awesome.
All right. So tip number 1, yeah? Okay, let's move on. All right, so courageous conversations. Let me remind everyone, it's about any topic that is hard to talk about with another person because the emotions are high and the risk is high, or the stakes is high. So join me, just play along with me, yeah? So when something is difficult, very difficult, what does human nature, what do we normally tend to do? No, it's not in reverse. This is an anagram. When something gets tough, what do we tend to do? Unjumble it.
Oh, I think we have someone
Oh,
got the answer.
very nice. I got some very fast students and very fast people today. That is right. Whoa. Thank you, Joelle. When something gets tough, when it's a difficult situation when we're in, we tend to actually avoid it, right? Run away, right? Because why? Why? Avoiding, yes, Shabu, that's right. Avoiding is easier, right? And how do we normally avoid? You guys said it earlier on. Sometimes we say, hey, let somebody else do it, right? Not my problem. Let me not do it, right? No need lah, not my problem. Or we just sweep it under the carpet. We hope it goes away. We just close our eyes and hope it goes away. The truth is, when there is an issue, when there is a matter to address, does the problem, the issue, the matter, the misunderstanding, the mistake, does it ever go away? Because you're scared of suffering, yeah. But does it ever go away? If we avoid having a courageous conversation or a hard conversation about something that matters, it really doesn't go away. We all know that, right? For example, earlier on, if no one voiced it out, that everything was in reverse, and if I had really done it, a really genuine mistake to do everything in reverse, both of us, all of us would be suffering now, right? You guys will be suffering really backwards, and I will be suffering as well, because I wouldn't know that I'm being made a fool today, and I may make the same mistake the next round again. So thank you for those who voiced out. Okay, so it's not easy to actually overcome our concerns or our worries about going into a courageous conversation. So then how can we make this easier? How can we make it easier for us to bravely go into a courageous conversation and pick up the conversation with someone? All right. I like what you say, Ketson. You know that, you say when we were young, we would speak up. We actually would speak up more. And it's true. Even as adults, we find it even harder to speak out nowadays because we know so much more. We think more, we deliberate a lot more, and then we hesitate a lot as well. And that's why today we are here to say, let's learn how to make it easier so that we do not avoid it. Okay? So one method that I will share with you today, how can we not avoid? All right. And that is to go in with the mindset to turn the negatives into positives. Our mind as humans, right? We are actually negatively skewed. We always think of the worst case scenario first. We think of things that puts us in danger or puts us in a situation where we might be embarrassed. And so we normally think that things will turn out bad. One way for us to actually look at it is to say, let's turn it into a positive. Going into a courageous conversation may actually have positive results, right? The person that we actually tell the mistake will be actually very, very thankful and grateful that you did it. People might actually appreciate, us actually approaching the issue because they may feel embarrassed to bring it up as well. All right. We can actually prevent worse mistakes happening, prevent worse misunderstandings from taking place. And you know what? At the end of the day, it really is to right a wrong. Yeah. If we know something is not going well, there's an issue, we should stand up for it and to right the wrong. Yeah. So let's learn also, to actually think positively of all difficult situations, and that would actually give us a more compelling reason to actually approach and have a courageous conversation with someone else. Okay? So very simply, tip number 2, yeah, if we care enough about someone or something or a cause, let's don't avoid it and let's think positive. All right? Don't avoid it. Let's think positive and turn the negatives to positives. If you are still with me on this session, I want you all to type 2 words into the chat screen. Type avoid, type positive. Type avoid, type positive. Very good. Positive question mark. Interesting. Okay. Zachary, I think Joel, you can help him out to see if you can still hear us. All right. Very good. Okay. So let's move on, yeah? If we care enough about someone or something and we choose not to avoid having the courageous conversation, then let's learn how to approach the courageous conversation. All right? Okay. All right. So what we will cover today is how to approach the courageous conversation. I'm not actually going to go through this, actually how to have the conversation, because that will take 1 whole hour by itself. But I'm going to teach you all really how can we go and what elements should we consider when we actually approach a courageous conversation. And I'm going to use this acronym called RESPECT. All right, very simply, respect. Okay. So you guys are going to help me out as I go through each of this element in here by guessing what those words are. Can? All right. So the first element that we will consider as we approach a courageous conversation starts with the letter R. Okay. Take a guess as what it is. It's fill in the blanks. 5 letters. Real? Good guess, Godfrey. Real place, real time, real person. Any other guesses? Power Tower says right. Joshua says react. Interesting. Reach. Wow, there's a lot of 5-letter words starting with the letter R. Okay, okay. And the correct answer is Power Tower's answer. The answer is right. Let me write it down now. Okay, 1 second. Good job. I see Simway also. R-I-G. Let me spell it correctly. Okay. Here you go. Nice, Godfrey. Okay, Aurician, yes. So the first thing we will consider when we approach a courageous conversation is to ensure that we do it in the right place, the right time, and speak to the right person. Okay, 3 things to consider. Okay, so guys, you guys tell me, when we talk about right place, where do you think a courageous conversation or a difficult conversation needs to take place? In private or in public space? Depends. Professor answer depends. Good. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. How about my future? All right. That's in social media. Okay. Should it take place in a quiet place or a super noisy place? Thank you, Jada. Thank you, Simway. So I'm just going to share a couple of considerations. All right. Nice, really. Well done. So when we start considering about a place to have a courageous conversation, these are a few things. Private place is better than public, but I'm not saying that you shouldn't do it in public if situation says that you should. For example, earlier on, this is a public arena, and yet it was a big mistake. So yes, we should sometimes voice it out in public when the stakes are high and when everyone else is impacted. But in order of priority, we should always consider having a courageous or difficult conversation in private first. This is to ensure that people do not feel threatened when we actually approach them for that conversation. Of course, a quiet place is preferred. A noisy place means you'll be shouting at the top of your voice and everybody else will be able to hear your conversation. All right. Okay, the other thing is like preferably it's face to face. And when I say face to face today, I don't mean physically because we all know that we can't sometimes meet face to face, but it is to actually meet on a virtual platform, preferably where you can see a person and you can actually have a good dialogue with. Because if you can't see a person, you can't read their body language, you can't see their reaction, you don't really know whether your message and what they're saying gets through to both sides. Yeah. Okay. And really preferably, everyone, preferably we do not do it online. We do not do it on social media. We don't do it on WhatsApp, and we don't do it on email, because really words get misconstrued, misunderstandings can come out from what we write, because people cannot hear the intonation of how we say it. Yeah. Yeah, like so, Jaden, when you ask why can't we do it over social media? When we do it over social media, what we're doing is we're taking it to public space, all right? But at the same time, sometimes what we type doesn't express what we're saying. You know, when you write the word thank you and you put an exclamation mark, let me ask you, if I say thank you with an exclamation mark, when I write thank you with exclamation mark, what is my expression? If I wrote thank you, THANKYOU, with an exclamation mark, what does it say? Happy? Maybe. What else can it say? Grateful? Maybe. What else can it say? Angry? Jaden, thank you. That's right. Because it could mean thank you. Thank you. I could be doubtful. I could say thank you. It's like shucks, you know what? Whatever is right, fine, thank you. You know, I could be angry, right? So when we write things out in text, it can be easily misunderstood because it's what the reader reads and not what the person is saying. Okay, so preferably when we do have a difficult conversation, we want to make sure there's clarity, and so that's why it's preferred to be done face to face, or at least through voice. And you can actually hear the person's expression and what they're actually indicating to you. Okay, exactly. Thank you, Godfrey. That's great. You know, because if the person is a bad mood, whatever nice thing you write also can be taken as something that's negative. All right. Okay, so then the next question, after the right place, will be right time. When is the right time to have a difficult conversation? Any guesses? If I look at
sorry, can you repeat the question again?
Okay, so when is the right time to have a difficult conversation?
When the other person is
Maybe
angry?
the person when
You can type the
in a
answer.
bad mood, maybe.
Sorry? When the person is in a I didn't catch you, Power Tower, but you were saying something, and Tyson? Okay. So I see that, okay, so you have that after quarantine. Okay, when the person's emotion is stable, in a bad mood, that will be a time when we don't have it, I guess. All right. When the person is in a comfortable mood, midnight or something. Okay. Okay, so good. So I'm not actually going to say a certain time to have it, but the time actually means in what situation, yeah. So like so like some of you say, probably when emotions are calm, which most of you wrote there, when a person is not emotional, when the person is in a comfortable mood, this is actually this one. When the person's emotions is calm, you will also want to speak to a person or have the conversation when the person is not in a hurry. Because when someone's in a hurry and a rush, you don't get to have a proper conversation, and things can again be left hanging, and you don't get to complete the conversation, right? No stress, yes, correct. And both persons are emotional. Good answers, all of you. And of course, you will also choose the right time when it's critical. That's the right time to do it as well. It doesn't always mean that you have to take it offline or you have to wait until things are over and then you approach the person privately. Sometimes in the public space, when it's critical, when it's an emergency, when it's urgent to say it, then at that critical time, that's the right time. Okay. All right. And the last right, right? The last right, besides right place, right time is the right person. Okay, I'm going to go straight into this one for time's sake. And you know, when we have a difficult conversation, we always want to have that conversation with the intended recipient, right? The person that we're actually approaching to talk. and not to talk to their friend or their friend's friend or your friend or friend and go one whole circle until it becomes what we call a gossip or a rumor. You always want to make sure that we address the right person, that is actually that the misunderstanding is with or the conflict is with, so that we can actually address the issue. But the situations where we will actually approach the second person, the second type of person, and that is in a situation where there's safety issues or where you feel that it's not safe for you to have that courageous conversations because you could be harmed. In the cases like cyberbullying or bullying, or in a case where there's threats going on, what you would do is to actually go to a guardian or someone who has authority actually to have the conversation so that they can step in for you. Yeah. Of course, the second one is also if you tried talking to a recipient to actually resolve an issue or to have the different conversation and it has no effect, or it didn't turn out well, then you will actually try and go for a second person to talk to. Yeah, someone that you trust and someone that you believe can help to intercede and to actually be a mediator in some of these situations after you have tried. Okay, so there are two types of persons that we can go to have a courageous conversation or to help you to actually have that courageous conversation if you're not in the capacity to do so, or if you are, or there's potential harm. Okay, so right place, right time, right person. So that's the first R and the first element to consider when we approach a difficult conversation. Godfrey, thank you very much for your suggestion. It's someone who can make decisions, correct? Especially when it's a problem to solve and both parties cannot reach a conclusion. And someone that can influence, especially when the other party or you also don't want to change your ways or no one wants to give in, then yes, the second person would also be someone who can influence. Thank you so much, Godfrey. Okay, so the first one, if you're still with me, the first R in how we approach it in the word of respect, type the word in the chat screen. If you're with me, type the word right, R-I-G-H-T, right. Thank you, guys. Okay, thank you, guys. All right. Okay, we're going on to the left, right and left. Thank you, Power Tower, for confusing me further. Okay. All right. The next element to consider as we approach courageous conversations starts with the letter E. All right. And you guys are going to unjumble this anagram for me as well. What's the second element in approaching the difficult conversation? Woo! Nice, how you do is right, correct? Okay, very, very good. So the second element that we need to have is when we go into a tough conversations or courageous conversation is the word empathy. And you guys got it all right. And yes, Aristan, it was totally spelled in a reverse order. Empathy, all right? So let me ask you all, is empathy the same as sympathy?
No.
Wow, very, very good. Nice, Tyson, very good. No, you're right, okay? Because a lot of people confuse empathy with sympathy. Yeah, and sympathy is really just pity. It's kesiankan orang, it's 可怜那个人, right? And it's basically saying like, I also sad, but I can't do anything about it. And that's sympathy. But no, that's right. Sympathy is pity. Whereas empathy. What is empathy? Does anyone can share me what is empathy?
Empathy is your feeling what the other person is feeling.
Very good, Tyson. Nice. And I see the same thing from Godfrey and for Simi. You guys have this, you already learned what empathy was previously, is it? Okay, very good. It's correct, right? So empathy is feeling what other people are feeling. Really correct. It is the ability to, two words, yeah, understand and feel. That's right. I see someone else answer the word understand as a Navina also. Very good. All of you got the two keywords right. The ability to understand and to feel what another person is experiencing. Very good, very good. Yeah. And having empathy is really to seek understanding, understanding the situation, understanding what the other person is feeling or experiencing. And the question is then, when we go into a courageous conversation, how do we practice empathy? Yeah, it's good to know it. How do we practice it when we approach a difficult conversations? Yeah, I have two very simple steps with one word for you. Okay, a simple trick to play or to use when we go into any conversation or any situation is this word why. A very powerful word is that when we want to seek to understand other people and to kind of feel for them and to know what they're going through, we do two things. We ask why and we tell why. I think ask why you all will understand why. You will understand why I say that word, okay? When we ask why, what we do is that we seek to get clarity. We will understand why this mistake was done. We try to understand why this misunderstanding happened, or we even try to understand why this action was done by somebody. Yeah, we could also ask the question why this person behaved in a certain way to understand the person and to feel the person. All right, why did they act in this manner? So asking why is one very easy way to seek for understanding. How about tell why? We're always taught to ask questions to understand somebody else, right? But you know what? When we go into a conversation, it involves two people. It involves the other party. It also involves you. And it's also very important for the other person to understand where you are coming from, right? Yes, it's putting yourself in other people's shoes, but also putting them in your shoes as well. It's a two-way conversation. And so that's why you also have to tell why. It's really important because we always forget to do this. We always want to seek other people's to seek to understand them. And we have to remember to also tell them our position. And so the second why is to tell people why you are having the conversation with them. And we can easily go back to the 3 C's and the one big care, right? We can tell them why, and why we are having the conversation is to clarify something, to correct something, or even to just confront something. And why do we do it? Because we care for the person or we care for the matter at hand. Yeah? All right? Okay. So one very simple way to practice empathy, whether it's courageous conversations or any situation, is to ask and to tell why. Okay? So if you are all still with me, let's go. I want you to type into the chat screen the word empathy and the word why. Let's go. Nice. Empathy, why? Okay. Good job. Good, nice, everyone. Thank you for the love. I can feel the love as you react on the chat screens. All right. Now we go into the third element. Okay. The third element, as we approach courageous conversations, what is the third element that we need to have? All right. Fill in the blanks. Very simple. Tyson, you want to answer? It starts with the letter S. Wow, the chat screen come out too fast. No chance for Tyson. Yes, okay, and the word is sincere. Let me figure it out. Okay, wait. Make sure I get my spelling correct. Sincere. Okay, just in case. Sticker. No, sticker. Okay. Sincere. All right. Very good. What does sincere mean? Yeah, everyone's so smart. Correct, Laura. You can be the trainer too. Free from pretense or deceit. Wow, that sounds like a Wikipedia. That sounds like a Oxford Dictionary explanation. Very nice, very nice. Okay, so sincerity, like Navina said, yes, it's free from pretense or deceit. Very good. It's from the heart. I like that, Godfrey. Sincerity is from the heart. Same as what Katzen say, right? It's true to the heart. And really, it also means just being genuine. Yeah, being genuine from the brain. Okay. Let's see, heart or brain win. I think heart win. Okay, it's being genuine as well, and genuinely care to actually want to resolve something. Yeah, and you know what? Sincerity really actually speaks and spells out your intent of going into any conversation, right? Can you guys tell me? Can you smell when someone is not sincere?
No.
So you can't smell it out. Can you not tell when someone is not sincere? Tanjiro can, yes. Okay. Sometimes when people are not sincere, again, unless they're really good con artists or they're really good actors, when someone is not sincere, you actually can sniff it out. You can actually tell, by their body language, by their eyes, by how they say it. Sometimes they say things and whether they smile or don't smile, you can actually see if they're sincere, right? And people can smell your intent. So when we go into a college conversation, we must make sure that our intentions are correct. And what are those intentions, right? Again, we go back to very simple basics, what I just said earlier on, right? You can go back to the fact that your intentions are to correct, to clarify, to confront, and that you care. If these intentions are in place, are in check, then people will not misunderstand, and they will not, if not, then they will think that you're not sincere, and they will actually, if you go in with the intention, if you go in with the intention to shame someone, you go in with the intention to blame someone, to belittle them, or to embarrass them, anything that indicates harm to the other person, all right, will show that we are not sincere in approaching the conversation and that our intentions are not right. All right. So it's important, again, one more time, to ensure that when we approach a conversation to address an issue or to confront someone or to actually correct a mistake or to get some clarification, we do it with a sincere intention. All right. So if you are with me, type out the third element, which starts with the letter S, type out the word sincere. Thank you. You get the flow, guys. Before I can even say it, you are typing it already. Nice. Okay. Okay. So the fourth element in approaching a courageous conversation starts with the letter P. Another anagram. Let's try it out. Zachary, sincere, man. Perceive. Godfrey. Try again. Zachary, don't do this. Not perceive. Carpet. Oh, no, we don't sweep this under the carpet. What else? Try again. Persuade. I don't think there's a letter S there. Okay, I'm not going to make you guys continue doing this. I'm going to tell you the answer. And the answer for the fourth element is the word practice. Correct, right? Practice. Practice. Yes, correct. Actually, I got two P's. It's prepare and practice. And practice makes perfect. Wow, three P's. Nice. Then you prepare, you practice, and then it becomes perfect. Very nice. Okay, so it's very important before we go into a courageous conversation that we prepare and we practice. We practice what we are going to say so that we don't say the wrong things and we make sure that our intentions are right. We practice by anticipating questions that the other party could raise up so that we're able to answer it and to be objective. And sometimes, it's important to practice it in front of the mirror or to practice it with someone that you trust so that the conversation can go smoothly. Okay, all right. So practice. Oh, can't say practice makes perfect, but no one is perfect, so why practice? Well, if you don't practice, then you have no chance at all. Okay, so give it a chance. Okay, practice. All right. So the fourth element, before I say type the word out, please go ahead and type the word out on the chat screen. Okay, thank you. All right. So the fourth element, practice. Prepare, practice. No perfection. Unfortunately, when it comes to courageous conversations, no perfect answer, no perfect situation, but we keep trying. Okay? Thank you. The next element, the fifth element that starts with the letter E. Okay? As we approach a courageous conversation, what is this? Fill in the blanks. 1, 2, 3, 6 letters. Excuses.
Exist.
Excuse, exist reaction, exist rejection. Navina, expect. Ta-da! Navina, nice one. The word is expect. Very good. Okay. Okay. We be prepared by expecting. All right. When we go into a courageous conversation, we expect that there will be a reaction. So there's 4 R's there. Expect reaction. We're going to expect that there may be some rejections. All right, some may even reject you for don't even want to go to your conversation. You can also expect rising emotions to take place. Okay, if it's a sensitive issue, difficult one, definitely emotions are involved. You can expect rising emotions, and you can even expect some resistance to whatever you are bringing up. Yeah, okay. So for us there, so what do we do when and how do we expect all these things, and how do we actually handle them, right? When there are reactions, what do? We stay calm. Okay, you stay calm when there's a reaction. When there's a rejection, sometimes people will say, no, I don't want to approach this issue, I don't want to talk about it. It's okay. You can try again later. You don't have to force it down to people. All right, expect rising emotions. When emotions are running high, what do? Definitely continue to stay calm. You can try and you stay calm, collected, and sometimes in the conversation, you can actually decide to end the conversation and let people go back and digest whatever has been said and come again and meet again later on when emotions are stabilized. Okay, you can actually end and walk away from the conversation, nicely close it and say, let's talk about it another time. Yeah. And the last one, how do we actually expect and be prepared for resistance? It is really just have preparation. And if there's a resistance, again, same thing, we can actually end the conversation and say, let's talk about it another time. No point trying to talk to someone who is resisting to listen or to even go into the conversation. Okay? All right. So the fifth element, starting with the letter E, is to expect for us, expect resistance, expect rejection, expect rising emotions and reaction. So if you're still with me, we've got two more elements to cover before we end. Type the word expect. Okay? Nice. Tyson, you have something to say. All right. Now, let's go into the sixth element.
Compassion.
Okay, when we approach courageous conversations, this is going to be very easy for all of you because I'm sure you know the answer to this. What do we have?
Emotions.
Control emotions.
Very good, Zachary. Very good, Tyson. You know, you guys are so fast this time around, right? Definitely, yes. We learn to control our emotions when we go into this type of conversations because we know that emotions may run high. Yeah. Very simply, how do we manage these emotions? Always remember, very simple, be calm. Yeah. Be objective, state the truth. Don't go add salt and pepper to whatever we are saying. All right. And take deep breaths sometimes so that we do not react negatively, so that we also do not partake in the rising of emotions. Yeah. And that you can control the situation. Yeah. Okay. So remember, we can always end a conversation or stop a conversation when emotions are running high to control it. And then we can say, let's take some time to digest and then we'll come back and meet again. All right. So we're almost to the end. All right. So the sixth element, control our emotions. So let's type very quickly the word emotions into your chat screen. Now we go to the last part. All right. It starts with the letter T. And this is one of the most critical elements to have when we approach a courageous conversation. Ooh, I like that. Ooh. The truth. Wait. Truth. Truth got H wall. All right. The word is trust. Okay, I think Sumi got it first. The word is trust. All right, which is truth anyway. Okay, so good. The sixth element we have, okay, is the word not. I don't know what's that. Is the word trust. Yeah. Every conversation, not just courageous conversations that we go into, we must establish trust. And that's a huge respect. How do we establish trust? Yeah, how? So like what a lot of you said just now, the first thing is we need to learn to be truthful. State the facts only, be objective. Let's not add salt and pepper to things, all right? And also the second element in any courageous conversation, difficult conversation, all that is to keep it confidential. Yeah, be confidential so that we do not breach the other person's trust in us, and whatever is shared, because we seek to understand, so we're going to ask a lot of questions. Whatever is shared needs to be kept between just the people in the conversation. The moment we go out and tell someone else what other people said, what the person said, you breach the trust, you will never be able to reconcile. Okay, all right. So a very key element is the word trust to end the word respect. 7 elements that you learned today on how do you approach courageous conversation. All right. So the third tip of the day. Okay, the first two, if you care enough about something or someone, all right, and you do not avoid having the courageous conversation and you think positive, the last part, tip number 3, is when you have to do it and you are going to do it with respect. All right, everybody type the word respect. And I'm actually going to end with giving you all the 7 elements in there so that we will remember. Is it correct? Is it coming out correct? Correct side, right? Not reverse, right? Okay. Is remember when we approach a courageous conversation, to choose the right place, right times, the right person, to practice empathy, to be sincere, practice and prepare beforehand before going in to the conversation. Expect 4 R's. Expect that there will be a reaction, might be a rejection, there might be resistance, and there might be one more thing. Rising emotions. Okay. All right. And then learn. We make sure that we can control our own emotions first. All right. And lastly, to establish trust, to trust, and to keep trust alive in the conversation and after the conversation. All right. So everyone, we learned 3 tips today. Let me find my tip card. Oh my gosh. What's tip number 1? What's tip number 1? You guys tell me.
CARE.
That's my tip. Very good.
Because
Tip number
we
1.
care.
Alexis, yes, we go into a courageous conversation because we care. Tip number 2. What do we not run away from?
Come on, second tip, guys. Second tip.
Number 2.
Avoid.
Good. Adrian, right. Tip number 2. Let's
Don't
not
avoid.
avoid it. Let's turn the negatives into positives so that going into conversation.
Don't avoid things
Thank you,
positively.
Alexis. Very good. Thank you. Avoid. Come on. All right. And tip number 3.
Respect.
When we choose to do it. Thank you, Tyson. When we choose to do it, yes, we do it with respect. Okay? And so very quickly, 3 things to learn today about courageous conversations. It's just those 3, and I leave that with you. You guys got it? Okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, Joel, over to you. Any questions?
Right. Okay. Cool. Thank you once again, Hui Ming, for the session. Virtual claps for you. Okay. Yeah. If any one of you on the floor, sorry, not on the floor, anyone on you in the group in the meeting, if you have any questions, please feel free to put it in the chat. Or if you'd like to remain anonymous, you can actually put your chats here. I'm gonna send the link again. Right. Okay, just you can, yeah, right? Any questions regarding courageous conversations, go ahead and put it in the link if you want to remain anonymous. If not, by all means, you can ask in the chat, or if you like, just let us know and you can turn on your microphone as well. We'll give about 1 or 2 minutes as you guys think, and also think about it, type it out, right? Okay. So as you type and as you go ahead, I'm also going to put a second link. And this is the link to a survey form that we're going to post for this entire session. So the survey form is going to be just asking how's the session like, what do you like our speaker today, what you like about speaker, what has been shared, anything that you feel like you just want to give great feedback. So here comes the link. I hope it does not get flooded. All right. So the link of the survey form is there. Feel free to press it. And at the same time, if you have any questions, feel free to type it in chat. If there are no questions, yes, Tyson, you are okay. If you don't want to do the survey, it's fine. It's no worries. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna assume that we don't have many questions. So right. So just to summarize the session, let me just see if I get it right. Yeah. So Hui Ming mentioned 3 things. Hui mentioned on courageous conversations, how we can actually do it is to clarify, to correct and confront, right? So 3 things. And there were 7 key points on how we can actually make it happen or while we are doing it, which is respect in general. R stands for right place, right time, and right person. E for empathy. We asking and telling the why, right? To have clarity. S is to be sincere. Every time when we're having a courageous conversation with the person, we need to be very sincere, as in to really care, right? And practice. Practice makes perfect because there are no perfect answers, but at least we try. Expect. Expect. There'll be different reactions. There'll be rejections, rising emotions, all the shins, and also resistance. Right? And controlling our emotions, be calm, be objective, taking deep breaths, and last but not least, to trust, to be truthful, keeping our conversations confidential. All right? And last but not least, the tips to care enough, to not avoid but be positive, and last but not least, do it with respect. So if you didn't catch all that, no worries. It's all in the chat. Yeah. It's gonna be a little bit jumbled up because of the format, but go ahead and copy it and paste it somewhere, right? May have missed the last part. So tips here. Okay, if there are no more questions and if possible, you have done the survey. If not, I'm just gonna send a link here again because it's getting spammed by so many words. Wow. Okay. Awesome.
Does anyone sing?
Sorry.
Does anyone want to hear Joel sing?
Oh my.
Yeah.
Should we make him sing?
Anyone wants to do a courageous conversation to stand up for me?
Yeah.
If you're happy, you know it.
Oh my gosh, that's a very, very cute
Hey,
song.
Joel, now it's your show. You put me. Hey,
What's that?
sing this song, okay? For everyone to remember how to get into a courageous conversation in the
Okay,
TV and you know it.
let me try. If we care enough about it, don't avoid. Be
Good job.
positive and do it with respect. It is not easy to have courageous conversations, but let us let us do our part. It right. Woohoo! Okay, virtual cut to myself.